Moduers, kembali lagi bersama saya Gaby Suhartanto selaku investment connoisseur dari Moduit. Dan hari ini kita ada kedatangan dari Pak Naresh dari Principal Asset Management. Hai Pak Naresh.
Hello Gabby, thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for being here. And today kita lagi mau berbincang seputar pasar saham di Indonesia dan produk-produk dan solution yang bisa teman-teman gunakan nih untuk bisa berinvestasi di pasar saham di Indonesia. So Pak Naresh, I would like to know a little bit more about Principal and your outlook for the equity market in Indonesia, especially now that we have an impending election that's coming up next year. I'm sure that that also has some kind of effect on the market. So maybe could you share your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So before I get into the market, maybe I'll give a small introduction about the company.
Sure.
So we are Principal Asset Management. We are a US firm. In US, we are called the Principal Financial Group. And we are operating all over the world. We have a very strong operation in US. We are very strong in Latin America with businesses in Chile, Mexico, and Brazil. In Asia, we operate out of Hong Kong, China, and for Southeast Asia, we operate out of Malaysia. Malaysia is our headquarters for the ASEAN business. In addition to Indonesia, we are in Singapore as well as in Thailand. So we are a global player in the financial services industry. And one of our aspiration is how we can bring our global investment management capability to the Indonesian market and offer Indonesians the best risk-adjusted returns through various products and solutions. So that's where we focus on. So coming to equity market, so we have been very, very bullish on Indonesian equity for quite some time, I always keep saying, like, I came to Indonesia in 1997, so almost 25 years in Indonesia, associated one way or the other. I would say that I have never seen Indonesia in such a strong position as it is today compared to the last 25 years. So clearly from a macro perspective, from a political perspective, from a governance perspective, from all perspective, Indonesia is looking very, very solid. So that is a great news, so which is very important because when people are investing in the equity market, they are adding risk to their portfolio. So strength and stability is going to be very, very critical to drive that particular asset class. So from that perspective, we are very, very happy with the overall market the way it is. The second thing we need to look at is from a valuation perspective, correct? So end of the day, everything looks attractive, but at what price, correct? So from a valuation perspective, once again, the Indonesian market is looking very, very attractive. So right now, our market is trading at 13 times the earnings, okay? Typically, our market used to trade at 16 times multiple. And a emerging market with the kind of growth potential that we have, we should be even getting 20 times multiples, especially if you look at India. India is able to generate that kind of a multiple simply because of those parameters. So eventually, Indonesia also should be getting the same kind of valuation. So from valuation perspective, once again, we are looking very attractive. So then your question will be, okay, then why we are not getting that kind of a return in the market, correct? And that I would say is simply because of the short-term volatility coming in from the external market, external global development. So right now, we had two issues that we were facing. Now that has become 3 issues, and eventually it may become 4 issues going into 2024, correct? So I think the number one issue the world is facing from a financial market perspective is the high inflation in developed market, in particular to US, correct? So the interest rates is already at, the treasury is now yielding almost 5% level, historically the highest in the last 15-year period or something like that. So clearly I think that is having a major impact. That is the reason why US dollar is very, very strong, and that has its own implications. So that is the number one issue that we were facing. The number two issue is, of course, the war in Ukraine that has been distracting the entire world for quite some time. Now, whatever happened in the Middle East, which is very, very unfortunate, very saddening, and that has been a very new development. So that is adding to the risk complexities there. And then we are getting into 2024 election. Yesterday night, the third pairing was announced. So now we have all the three pairs of contestants announced. So we are getting into a more campaigning and more activity in 2024. So I think overall, I think we are getting into complex environment. So we need to be careful. We need to be careful if our investment horizon is short term. You understand? In a short term, it is very difficult to predict because you don't know what is going to happen in any of these four risk factors, and that could have more volatility. But if you have, this is the funny thing about this business, correct? They always say that you need to buy when everybody is running, when people are fearful, that is the right time to buy. And when everybody is gung-ho, when the taxi driver recommends you an investment solution, that is the time you need to sell, is what traditionally we are used to hearing, correct? So from that perspective, I think everything that we are hearing in the world looks a little bit more risky and volatile. And given Indonesia is looking much, much more stable and valuation is attractive, if we have the risk appetite, we should slowly accumulate and build a good Indonesian equity portfolio going forward. But I would caution that we need to be a little bit more careful getting into these kind of scenarios.